So here is our roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to cover our shared communities, the joy of play, rainy days and traditions, understanding family diversity, helping each other, and fun in the neighborhood.
Let's get started with our first concept, our shared communities, and how we go about building harmonious worlds.
You see, this textbook doesn't just casually define a community as a group of houses. Instead, it frames it as this incredibly supportive ecosystem. The text explicitly notes that together we cultivate a variety of plants, we care for different animals, and we respect natural elements like the sun, the soil, and the water. It's showing that through mutual aid and collective effort, we all contribute to the well-being of our shared environment. It's this beautifully holistic view of society introduced right from day one.
Moving right along to Section 2, the joy of play, which starts with the absolute universal hook of childhood.
To teach socialization, the text zooms way into the individual level. We meet our guide, a young girl named Bella, her older brother Ben-chhupan-chhupai, and little baby Bishu. The curriculum really highlights that pure universal joy of childhood play out in the family garden. Bella talks about playing chhupan-chhupai, which is hide and seek right out there, where relatives, friends, and neighbors just naturally gather. It perfectly establishes the home as this open, welcoming hub for connection. And I absolutely love this next part. The text actually provides a formal definition for something totally intuitive: peekaboo. It defines it simply as a game involving hiding and suddenly reappearing. By explicitly defining a simple game like peekaboo, the material grounds its lessons in highly relatable, heartwarming family moments. It literally validates a child's daily experiences as something worthy of focus and study. How cool is that? Expanding our circle a bit, we reach Section 3, Rainy Days and Traditions. These are those cozy moments of shared culture. The curriculum is so smart here. It leverages changes in weather to explore indoor shared traditions. For example, it features this piece called A Rain Song. It talks about how much we love to soak in the rain and watch raindrops on the window panes. The poem goes on to mention floating paper boats in puddles, birds huddled in trees, and peacocks dancing with their bright feathers. It's using sensory poetry to evoke this deep sense of nostalgia, basically asking students to reflect on how their own environment transforms when it rains and how their families react to those natural rhythms. Building directly on that feeling, the text outlines some very specific rainy day activities. From Bella's perspective, rainy days means sitting under a small garden shelter, playing spoken word games like Antakshari, or rolling the dice for snakes and ladders. It means eating hot pakodas and drinking tea made by Dariji, their grandmother, and singing traditional rain songs together. It maps out these cozy narrative moments to show exactly how a simple rainstorm becomes this amazing catalyst for bringing multiple generations together in one shared space. These rainy days just create a seamless blend of imaginative outdoor play, like floating those paper boats in newly formed puddles, with that structured indoor family time. You know the vibe, sitting cross-legged on the floor playing a board game with a plate of fresh snacks right nearby. It's just a perfect blend of generations enjoying a shared moment. All right, let's step into our fourth section, Understanding Family Diversity. This really highlights the book's inclusive educational approach. The core concept of what makes a family is framed so broadly and simply here. Let me read this. Families are big, families are small, families are different, and we love them all. The text notes that families have parents, children, grandparents, and others too. It is explicitly teaching children that diverse family structures exist naturally, and by doing this, it ensures that every single child reading the book can see their own living situation reflected and respected. Then, the textbook turns the learning right back over to the student with this exact prompt. Would you call Bella's family a big or a small family? And actually, I want to pose this to you, the viewer, as well. By breaking the fourth wall like this, the text encourages really active reflection. It asks the reader to look at their own definition of family, to count their own members, and to recognize that whether a family has 2 people or 10, it remains a totally valid and functional unit.
Which brings us perfectly to Section 5, Helping Each Other, where we look at the actual everyday mechanics of a functioning family. Because let's be real, a family functions through mutual aid and a solid division of labor. The textbook uses some great specific character examples here. We find out that Ben-chhupan-chhupai helps out by cleaning and chopping vegetables. Bela helps her Dadaji, her grandfather, out in the garden. Another character, Mooney, creates these beautiful rangoli patterns from dried leaves and flowers. Everyone has a role. The text just completely normalizes the idea that maintaining a household is a shared, cooperative responsibility.
Then the curriculum gets super practical. It lists essential household work: cooking food, watering plants, mending things.
cleaning the house, and buying things from the market. And it literally asks the young student to map out the division of labor in their own homes by writing down exactly who does what. It's such an incredible way to teach kids to recognize and hopefully appreciate all the unseen labor that keeps their own families functioning every single day. Finally, we reach section 6, fun in the neighborhood. We're zooming all the way back out to see how the family unit connects with the broader community. The source material introduces us to a culturally specific community game called Pichu. Basically, it's a game where players have to run fast to pile up scattered flat stones, all while the opposing team is actively trying to take them out by hitting them with a ball. It requires speed, it requires coordination, and most importantly, it requires teamwork. This kind of play brings kids from totally different families, like characters named Niku, Rinky, and Rohit, together in one shared communal space. And get this, during a holiday gathering at the local park, Bala's Dedaji doesn't just sit on a bench and watch from the sidelines. No way. He actively joins the neighborhood kids. He's the one who throws the ball to scatter the stones and kick off the game. This brings the magic of communal interaction right to life, showing that elders play a vital, energetic role in the broader social fabric of the neighborhood. It completely blurs the lines between family and community. So as we wrap up this explainer today, I want to leave you with this profound reflection question pulled straight from the end of the textbook chapter. It's asked, how do family members show their love and care for each other? It's a deceptively simple question for a third grader, but man, it carries immense weight. Whether it's through playing hide and seek, making tea on a rainy day, sharing the burden of household chores, or inviting the neighborhood kids to a game in the park, love is shown through action and connection. Think about how these early lessons of cooperation apply to your own life today. How do you show care in your community? Let that simmer for a bit. Thank you so much for joining me on The Explainer, and keep learning.